So today, it's not Mandala Mondays, and I'm happy that it's actually not Monday. We are going to talk mandalas today, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Hi, Susie. Hi, Christine. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Maureen. We are going to create some mandalas using design stamps. So I'm just going to show you one right here. Look at that beauty. All right. So, hey, Jill. So, Sunny Israel. Hi, Sherry. So, hi, Lisa. So I'm going to walk you through how to use your straight sticker guides to create a mandala pattern. So I know we talked about the round mandalas, but we are definitely going to make one of these cups today. I'm not sure if we'll finish the entire thing, but I will make sure that I will answer every question and any issue you guys have been having if you're looking to make a bracelet like this. We are going to use, obviously, that crescent moon stamp. I'm going to show you how you can mark your stamps if you're not happy with the angle that the design is when you buy it, in a way that you could always turn it around. Can the golf marker be matted? So the golf marker has a bit of a texture on it. I have yet to try to matte it, but I can do that after the live today. I have some time. If you send in, Tana, if you send in that question to us, send a private message, I could try it and see how it comes out, but I haven't tried to matte that. Well, thank you, Terry. Hi, Ruth. Carrie, Camille. Yes, so Mandala Me Thursdays. I feel like we should have some kind of reggae music and have some kind of fruity drink, but instead we have metal stamps. But I'd rather a metal stamp than a fruity drink anyway. So we are going to use these big, chunky bracelets, because guys, I've been looking, I do the trend reports for ImpressArt, so I pretty much have my fingers on the heartbeat of jewelry, and these are coming back. We're bringing chunky back. Definitely bringing the chunky jewelry, chunky necklaces, chunky bracelets, statement pieces are going to be a thing. No, these are 6-inch. Okay, and they're 25 millimeters. Okay, so they're an inch. They're inch bracelets. Lynn doesn't like fruity drinks either. So, well, thank you, Gail. Thank you. So that's what we're going to do today. We are going to be working also with a font set that I'm going to show you how to use your O's, your V's, your L's to incorporate them in your designs. Okay? I know, quote of the day, I'd rather be metal stamping than a fruity drink. I like that. Yes, Alicia, wine's good too. Chunky bracelets. Oh, we need another flash sale on chunky stuff. I could see if I could swing that. I like that. We're bringing chunky back. So if you get that email that we're bringing chunky back, it's a flash sale with chunky stuff. Right? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to take you over to my block because this is going to be kind of, not a long one, but filled with information. So definitely ask away, ask questions, hopefully pertaining to the bracelets. So, I could have it moving along. And then after, if you have any questions about technique, we'll go through that also. And I will show you how to bend these bracelets. All right, so I'm going to take you over to my block. Let's pull you off for this. All right, put you on there. So we're going to be using Deco lowercase in 3mm. And I think I kind of want to pull out, I should think before I speak, but I'm going to dig right now for, let's see, Deco 1.5. And I should have it. Let's see, 3mm. Oh, I have it. Whoops. And there goes a font set. We're also going to use the 1.5. All right, so let me line that all up. We're going to use the crescent moon. No, we're not using the new crescent moon on this one. Although, let me see. No, we're going to use the older crescent moon. And Jen will pull that into the comments for you guys. And guys, give Jen some love because she's been really fantastic. I know this morning when we talked about doing these, Jen kind of, Jen's kind of my brain. She knows, we've been working together for so long that she knows exactly what to post even before I say it. So, yeah, so I appreciate Jen. Jen is amazing. So give her some love. So I'm going to show you the bracelet. All right. So here is something we did a very long time ago, but this is an oldie buddy goodie. So we keep on bringing this back. So we're going to do something a little bit more advanced than this. This is before we had sticker guides. So I'm going to show you how you could use your bracelet sticker guides, the bracelet sticker guides to do a full mandala. And if you guys want to see Jen, you should definitely take that Michael's class today, this afternoon, because you'll see Jen on there. So here we go. All right. So we're going to put that aside. Let's see. Lisa wants to know where I got the wings on my wall. The wings on my wall are from Creative Market. And I bought those, I want to say, a good 10 years ago. So Jen will definitely put the link to register for that class for Michael's. It's free, guys. So definitely sign up for that. So I'm going to pull out my sticker guide, my bracelet sticker guides. And I think I spoke too soon because I thought I pulled it out and I didn't. So let me grab that. Okay, so when you're doing this bracelet, it really depends on how long, how many rows you want to go with your design. Okay, so with this, we have 2 repetitive rows. So what you want to do with that is you want to take a ruler to it. And you just want to, like I said, this is an inch. You just want to find your sweet spot. Welcome, Allison. Allison of Brooklyn. Okay. And you're just going to literally mark it. I like to use a Sharpie when I mark it for the simple fact that if I use the enamel marker, sometimes I am, I'm rough on things, so I don't let things dry. So I'm just gonna mark it. Okay. Hello, Carol. Okay, so I'm going to come in Then with my, hi Debbie, hi Floor, you're gonna come in with your bracelet sticker guides. So these are good, guys, to do your quotes, but they're also good to do your mandala bracelets, okay? So what I like to do is I like to put one at the end just to mark where I want my design, okay? So I'm gonna come in. This is my center. So I know I definitely wanna do a design here, okay? And I wanna finish a design right here. There and right there. So I pick that up, and now I'm going to make sure that my sticker guide goes right underneath that mark. Okay, now I'm only going to do half of the bracelet because if I did that, this whole bracelet, we would be here all day. But I'll finish it later on, and I could show you guys. We'll take a picture of it and post it later on, probably the beginning of next week. But we're only really going to work from here to here today and down, so you could see how I complete that pattern. So I am going to tape it on my block. I like to tape these thick bracelets onto my block because you never know, sometimes they go flying if you hit a little too hard and it's not taped down. So I do suggest taping it down. Okay. I know someone just asked why I leave that part empty. Is because at the ends of my bracelet, I always like to do my patterns going vertically, horizontally. I always want to do like an ended border vertically. Okay. So I am going to start. So I have some border stamps here. Okay. And I think this is more Southwest to me, so I'm going to sit that one out. This is more star. I think I'm going to go with this one. So I've picked my my stamp. Hi, Caroline. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Candy. And I'm going to place it down. Remember, you want to make sure that the ImpressArt's facing you when you're stamping. And I'm going to bring this down, okay? And you could see that right here, it's going to sit. Now, these are the border stamps that I'm using, okay? So I'm going to bring it down, make sure it hits that sticker guide, and I'm going to tilt it side to side, back and forth, just to get all of that impression in there, okay? And I'm going to, here's a little trick, guys. When you want to connect stamps, you know, even your line and your border, make sure you could feel the edge of that stamp, okay? When I feel the edge of that stamp, that impression with my stamp, I know that I'm very close to it, okay? Bring it down. And do you see how I'm connecting that? So make sure you feel that impression with the tip of your stamp. Gail, Jen, yeah, star border design stamp. Yes, Stephanie, this was there. These bracelet guides, guys, they're a game changer. All right, so I have my first line. I went a little wonky here. I didn't follow my guides, but it's okay. Look how nice and perfect that line comes out. It's like these stickers were made for those border stamps, okay? So I'm just gonna finish. Actually, I'm gonna stop right there. And then I am going to take so there we go. And I'm gonna pull away my sticker. Did everybody see that? Besides my wonkiness. See, I make mistakes too, guys. All right, so now I'm gonna start with my next pattern. And that's gonna be my moon design stamp. And again, I'm following the little marks that I made on my metal. Okay, and I'm gonna go with the moon because I know everybody loves the moon. So here is the crescent moon, okay? So now this moon is at it's turned. It's not perfectly smack in the middle of that disc. It's got a lower front. So I'm gonna take a scrap piece and I'm gonna show you. Okay, do we see that? That it's not perfectly done. This is how the design was created, okay? And Patrick, you can just, no problem. Just, Patrick, all you have to do is contact sales@impressart.com and let them know, and they'll be happy to hear from you. They'll be happy to hear from you and help you. Perfectly imperfect is the best, yes. So I don't want my design stamp up and down like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna play around with it and see how I want that impression to look. That's why it's always good to have a scrap piece in front of you. Even with this bracelet, you could see that, you know, they're on an angle. All right. So I'm gonna bring this down and I'm gonna make sure that I'm kind of twisted. So just going straight on this, it's at an angle. I'm gonna turn my stamp ever so slightly so it's more of a cusp. So I am going to make sure I drag my stamp down. And there is my first. And I'm turning it ever so slightly. Does everybody see that? So that's dead on. I'm turning it a little bit, okay? So here is, whoops, there is my line of half moons. Now I have all this space up there, right? So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna come in with my Deco 1.5. Oh, and it's new. I love when I open a new font set. Love it, love it, love it. So these are 1.5, it's uppercase. But in these, you could use your O's, you could use your V's, your U's, and the design stamps that come in this pack are great also because look at that great diamond shape. even that design stamp right there. We're gonna utilize both of those today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in with that little fleur. I don't know if you could really see that design on that shank because it's so small, but this one right here. And I am going to turn it to the way I want to use it. And remember, when you're turning your stamps and you're working, leave a piece of scrap right up there so you can see what it looks like, okay? So that's what I'm gonna work with. I'm gonna come in right between. So I'm adding on to my stamped crescents, and I'm changing the design ever so slightly. Do you see that? All right. Then I'm gonna come in, actually let me do one more, just right down there. Okay. So now I'm gonna come in with my V's. And I'm just gonna go right above that design stamp. And now you could utilize it, you know, you could either stamp alone or you can move your sticker guide up, just like that. All right. And now inside of my crescents, I'm going to use my circle. Now this is, you could either use an O. This is the circle from the one of the 6 design stamps in the 1.5 deco. So there we have that. All right. And now guys, you could also, you know, go back up here if you want to fill in that negative space, if that's what you choose to do. It's really personal preference. I'm going to now turn my block, okay? And I'm going to take another sticker guide out. And I'm going to put that right at the end. And I'm going to use my V's. And I'm just going to use a V. Actually, I'm going to use that. Yep. So I'm going to start from here and move out. I'm going to follow what I have. Okay, and I'm going to come in with that little fleur. And I'm going to use that between. Okay, I'm going to turn my block around. I'm going to pull my sticker guide off the top. You're going to see how nice it is to actually start building something, okay? I'm going to pull my sticker guide off the bottom and show you what we have so far. So how great is that, guys, that you could build a pattern like this using these sticker guides? So now we're going to, I'm going to come back. And I'm going to use my star border again. So relaxing. My daughter watches that lady that cuts soap. She cuts soap, like she cuts soap over and over. That and the slime that, you know, people put their fingers in and all that stuff. She tells me, my 9-year-old tells me that relaxes her. So I'm going to come back in with my stars. Now, guys, an easier way to do it. Do you see how my stamp itself is overlapping my image, my last stamped impression? Okay? That's how you know. Always, especially with that sticker. So see that black hash line? I'm going to make sure that the edge of the side of my stamp is on that black line. Like that, just like magic. Patience. And learn your tools. And there is my second line. I'm going to pull that off. So we have that. Now, guys, I know people, even when I teach classes, I always tell them, they're like, oh my God, it's bad, it's horrible, it looks bad, it's horrible, it looks bad. Don't throw your piece out. If you're committed to it this far along in the pattern, commit to the pattern, okay? When you bend this bracelet, it looks your design looks completely different. No one is paying attention that I got all wonky up here. You're not going to see that. So definitely, when you're committed, keep on going. Color it in and then bend it, okay? Don't get discouraged. Just go with it. I need a sign in my workshop, learn your tools. You know what, Noelle? I think I might have to contact my friend who does signs and have that behind me. All right, so I'm going to come back in with my V's. And let's see how I'm going to do it. I have a horrible, horrible, horrible habit. Don't do like I do of not putting my stamps back in the correct spots. Horrible habit. All right, so I'm going to choose to go, this way. And now I'm following the V's that I had stamped already. And I'm sorry that I'm not answering questions, but I'm so focused on this bracelet. I made a bracelet, I rent it, and now... you can unbend your bracelets. You can. But if you love it, I wouldn't unbend it. Try a new one. That is a really wide bracelet. It's great. It's a great bracelet. So it's about the same. It's going to be the same width as this one. Okay. Just the pattern's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to continue with my V's. And I'm going to come back in with my little flourish in between. So I know if you watched yesterday, we talked about, you know, using some of your design stamps from your font set. So definitely do that. And ordering the moon. Okay, so then we have that. I'm just going to go to the end with this one. All right, so I'm going to take that off. And there we go. So far, so good. And now I'm going to flip it around. Melissa, if you're not getting a full impression, by now I know how to hit my stamps, how hard I need to be for different metals. A tapping of a 6mm or the 6mm border stamps is definitely something that you could do if you're not getting a full impression. The moon is on a 6mm font. So let's see. Carly, the letter stamps work well for mandalas. U's work fantastic. U's are a good... they are definitely... I'm just trying to think design-wise. They are U's. Your S's, when you turn your S's, that's a good way to utilize your letters. W's, M's, L's, I's. But just remember, guys, when you're stamping your I's, you want to make sure that you're not over hitting them. Okay? I think I'm going to take it. I'm going to go this way. I didn't have a planned pattern today. All right. Just going to pick it up a little bit more. All right. So I'm going to come back in with my moon stamp. And I am going to just hit it again to see how I want it to work. And there we go. So I am going to bring it down. Okay. And J, right, Jane, and S. Hi, beautiful Jane. How are you? So I'm going to come in with my O, and I'm going to nestle that right in my crescent. And now with my crescent, guys, I'm going to come back in because we all know, Noelle and Carly know how much I love my what? My dot stamps, right? My little dots. Anytime, look at that beautiful pattern, okay? Anytime there's, you know, a space in design stamps, you could always fill that in, okay? So I'm going to take my dot stamp and I'm just going to lightly tap it just to give it some texture. I'm just making light taps inside just to give it a little bit of some texture, some depth. Now, unfortunately, there is no guide to do this. You have to learn your tools. And it just gives it that extra design effect. Yes, Noelle. I know you add dots to everything, and I add dots to everything too. So I'm going to come back in this way. And remember, guys, you don't always have to move your piece. Move your block. All right, and I'm not going to move my sticker yet. I'm going to come in and go through with that little flourish that we have right here. So let me pull that out. And of course, again, I didn't put it away. And I'm just going to set it right in between my moons. Just to fill that space. So here we go, we have that. Nice, right? So now I'm going to come in with my V's. And I'm just going to tape it, because once you've used your sticker guides, guys, and you learn how to use your stamps, you know, you can use your sticker guides you should always use, but you could definitely do the tiny elements without a guide, because you're really just going in between of the pattern. So use the last design stamp as a guide. This is Deco 1.5. There's a 3, a 1.5, and a 6. Hi, Cindy. You're Angela's neighbor. Well, welcome. Welcome. Now, if you guys are inspired by this piece, I want to see. Me and Jen want to see. We love, love, love seeing what you guys are doing. Marianne, like, I know I make it look easy, but it is. You just need to take a deep breath. Make sure that you have your sticker guides. Make sure that you have a scrap piece in front of you. You know, most of it, like I said, guys, most of metal stamping is your tools, right? That you have the correct tools, like your brass hammer and your steel block. And the other half is just learning your font sets. You know, just learn your font sets. Okay, so I have my V. So now I'm going to come in with, let's see, I'm going to come in with my border again. So I'm going to put my sticker. And the best thing about this is, guys, I'm still using the one, I'm still using the same sticker guide. Okay. So then I'm going to come in with my star. Okay, I'm going to line that up. Now you could hit it multiple times. If you feel that you haven't had it, definitely, if you don't have an impression, tilt and tap it. Or if you're pretty good with just hitting it once and knowing that you have your design, you could do it either way. But if you're just starting, I definitely suggest tilting and tapping it. And I'm going to put another piece of tape to see it's moving just a little bit. Katie, the tilting and tapping, what are you okay, so with the tilting and tapping, are you afraid of the hammer? And what metal are you using, Katie? Because if you go with a softer metal to learn how to tilt and tap, if you go with like a piece of pewter, or you start with a piece of alchemy and tilt and tap, you'll see that once you get that technique of moving and hitting, it'll be easier when you approach it with aluminum and brass and copper. And if you're starting off stamping and you're going straight to brass and copper, I don't suggest it. Yes, Alicia, it's easy to take out the black marks. And definitely brace your hand. Yes, Marianne, I would definitely not go straight to sterling. I would definitely do aluminum first. Why don't you try, Katie, I think you should get a couple of alchemy discs and try on there first. Just so you get, let me pull this up a little bit so I can show you guys. So when you're tilting and tapping, okay, I am lining my stamp up and I'm pushing my stamp into the metal, okay? Okay, I know I paused for a couple of minutes. Are you guys still there? Give me some thumbs up if you guys are still there or I'm frozen. Okay, good. Jen's coming in. So if you brace, it seems to come off the block. Okay. So press down on it. Okay. Once you're pressing down, you're putting pressure on that stamp. Hit it once. And then back, forward, side, side. Now, you're moving your stamp. You're not moving your hammer. So don't move your don't go like this. You're just consistently hitting it dead on. And don't go really high with your hammer. Little taps. Little taps. Okay, good that you guys are still here. I know sometimes, like, it's weird. It's fine for, like, 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden I get this buffering, so. Okay, so then we have, that's the pattern. All right, and then I'm just going to continue with my border at the bottom. So I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to bring my... Yes, so I noticed it last night. I was teaching someone last night, and I noticed she was moving the hammer in a circular motion. Don't move the hammer. You move the stamp. The hammer is just staying in the same spot, and you're tapping it. Don't, bring your hammer up and down. No, don't tap it in different spots. I'll go over it again with you guys in a couple of minutes. Let's just finish up this pattern so we can get some enamel in there to see what it looks like. Okay. So now I'm going to follow my pattern. And I'm going to come back in with that little embellishment in between. So in total, this bracelet should take you about a good hour and a half. What color enamel today? We're going to do the green. I'm not going to call it blue, even though it looks blue to me. How do we like that, guys? It's pretty, right? How nice is that? Now, what I was talking about with this end, I always put my maker's mark at the very low corner of my product. I either do it on the inside or on the outside. It really depends. Okay. No, and not all the stamps will work on stainless steel. Only ones that are rated for stainless. All right, so I am going to take my sticker guide, and now I'm going to just build my pattern the opposite way. So I'm going to take my stars, oops, just like that, and then I'm going to build my pattern. Or you could, put your own maker's mark, Or if there was something that someone really doesn't like, inspirational quotes or words, the end of your bracelets is where you could put their children's names or their grandchildren's names. I mean, it's really up to you. No, I don't remove marker with Pro Polish pads. The Sharpie, I use an alcohol pad. But the regular enamel that I use, I don't. I just use regular paper towel. So I am going to, I'm not going to continue to build this pattern because it's basically the same that I showed you here. But Gail, I finish one row at a time. I'm just partially sampling for time because we would be here forever. But this project, in full, I believe Jen and I timed it. For me, it would take 45 minutes without talking or whatever. From soup to nuts, it would take about 45 minutes for me to complete. I do one row at a time. Because what happens, then you have a break in your pattern. I don't like to have a break in my pattern. I mean, this is different because, I'm going to continue it after just for time. Okay. So you could definitely continue your pattern here. All right, so I'm going to take an alcohol pad that I have. And I get these from Amazon. They're just little alcohol pads, just like that. And I'm just going to run it over my Sharpie marks. Pull this down a little bit for you guys could see. And that's it. And if I have a Sharpie in some of my impressions, I'm fine with it because I'm going to go over it with black. But if you're not going over it with black, it's very easy to get it out of your impression with either an alcohol pad or some antibacterial on paper towel. You definitely want it to dry totally. You can tumble this, Susan. You can tumble it. Yep, you could stamp your pattern to the end of the blanks. I like to, move it up a little. I like to do my ends differently. This one I didn't. This one I didn't do to the ends. But, all right, so now that it's dry, okay, I'm going to take my green enamel marker. Do I have my green with me today? Yes, I do. Okay. So this is my green enamel marker, and I'm just going to run it right over my impressions. So tumbling just debores it and gives it a nice shine, okay? So I'm gonna let that dry. Gonna run to my kitchen and get a paper towel because I forgot about that, so I'll be right back. Okay, so here is a regular household paper towel. Nothing on it. And I'm just going to lightly start removing it. I want to be very light with it because I don't want it to remove the ink from the impression. Yes, Cynthia, if we did this, it would take a long time. So I only showed how to do half a pattern. Hi, Roseanne. What is a tumbler and what does it look like? Okay, Roseanne, so that is a question that we would probably answer and go more in depth in our business class that we're doing. So if you're interested in learning about, finishing processes and stuff like that, I would definitely send a direct message to us at ImpressArt and leave us with your email address so we can reach out to you when we're ready to have that class and you could join in for that. Yeah, Camille, it depends. It depends. On my brass and my copper, I don't have to use 2 coats. On my silver, because it seems to be the same tone, I use 2 coats. It's a lighter marker, and it's really personal preference. And there we go. How nice did that come out? Oh, I can't wait to wear this. No, Cynthia, our business class is going to be via Zoom. Okay? So we could answer everyone's questions instead of just having, bunch of questions shot at us. So, it's just easier to do it via Zoom. So yes, the amount of times you use the enamel is personal preference. I like my, and I don't really have to keep on applying the enamel with the other colors. The green is very light, so you might have to apply it a couple of times for your liking. So that's it. So I'm going to show you now how to bend these, but I'm not going to be bending this bracelet, okay? Because I want to continue with my pattern later on tonight after everyone leaves me alone and goes to bed in my house. So I am going to show you how to... If you left us your information, if you send a direct message to ImpressArt and, just left, you can write business class and your email, you're on the list. Sometimes if you write a long message, it'll get lost in there. So definitely interested in business class, email is the best way. And I think, Katie, you're on it. All right, so I'm going to pull you guys back and we're going to go over bending. Now, when you hit these guys with same thing, how much would I charge for this piece, Cynthia? Okay, a lot goes in. That's a fully loaded question. And that's definitely something that we are going to go into in the business class. There are a lot of deciding factors on how to price your pieces. All right. And the business class is free. I'm not, we're not charging for that business class. It's free. All right. And Lynn, I think you're on there too. So you're going to pull, I'm just going to pull my protective coating off. Now I want you to keep in mind, guys, the bigger piece of metal, the harder it is to bend. Not only because it's a larger piece, okay? Also because after you're stamping on it so much, you'll work hardening it. So you're making your bracelets harder, okay? Yeah, probably the Zoom will be either on the weekend or in the evenings. So just, yes, definitely send an email to join. Oh, you're welcome, Katie. Jen and I do our best to get to everybody's questions. Sometimes, I'm like, I really couldn't answer. I wasn't reading a lot today because I was busy doing that. But me and Jen really do try to get to everyone's question. Okay. So I am going to make sure that whatever I want on the outside of my bracelet is facing up. Okay, you're going to put your thumb firmly against it. Now, like I said before, the thicker the metal, the harder, but you can get it done. Okay, so you're going to take it and you're going to bend that right over. And now I'm really, I really have my thumb up against it and I really have my hand really firmly on that. Okay, then you're going to take that back. Thank you, Cynthia. Dollar store. Put your thumb firmly against it. Take the palm of your hand. Do you see how I'm using my finger and I'm putting it inside here? When you have a big bracelet like this, you're going to just pull. Do you see how I did that? Okay. Because it is harder to bend these. Okay. But now mine's even wonky. Do we see this? So this is perfect. I am going to show you how to correct this. What you need to correct this is your bracelet bending pliers. Okay? When you have a little dip like that, you're going to come right alongside of that dip. Okay? You're going to take your bracelet and you're going to pull it up. Do you see how I'm straightening it back out? Then I'm going to come in and I'm going to use my pliers and bend. So I'm forming it all over again. Now, with these pliers, with this cuff, it's nice and thick. You're going to have to go around one side and then go around the other side as well. So I'm going to start at the end and I'm just going to form it. And I'm going to use my hands. Okay, then I'm going to flip my bracelet around. I'm going to start at that end, and I'm going to squeeze. Okay, and come all the way around again. So I'm really forming it on both sides. Okay, see now that I've got it nice and rounded, I'm going to pull it out a little bit. Now I still have that little wonkiness on there. You're going to go in right after it, and I'm trying to like do this so you guys could see. And I'm just going to form it again. So it's basically you are forming it using your hands and your plier. And there we go. All right. And then it just goes right on. Okay. So that is definitely how you bend these bracelets. It's going to take a little finesse, but you could definitely do it. So, any other questions about doing a mandala on a bigger bracelet? Now, guys, you could actually do them on the 5/8 bracelet if you have a 5/8 bracelet handy. So you could definitely get half of this pattern on a 5/8. Lynn, I use my bracelet pliers to do my ends. Because if you just use your bending bar, I feel like bending a bracelet is one, a personal preference on how people like it, and two, I like a more completed look. So I definitely bend my ends in. Okay? So let's say we're doing a 5/8 bracelet, and I'm bending it. Okay? What Anne is talking about is, see how those ends kind of just come out? I like how they look when you take them and you bend them in. So it gives it more of a curved look. Because the last thing you want are ends that are just completely out of those bracelets. Kevin, all you have to, how did I hold the pliers? Meaning, tell me, Cynthia, I'm not sure how to answer that. How did I hold the pliers? So you always want to, let me bend the bracelet again so we could go over it. Okay, so here is a bracelet. I'm going to hold my pliers that they're going to follow the curvature of my bracelet. Is that what you meant? So I'm following the curvature of my bracelet. That's how I am using my pliers. And I'm following that all around. Do you see how this is out? And once I've used my pliers, it's curved in. So basically, you're following the curvature of your bracelet. So when it's in your plier, it should look like this, like a rainbow. You should always, yes, Alicia, when you're doing the smaller bracelets, always start at the center. Okay? Unless you want a flat, if you want them flat at the top. If you want a flat top, more traditional cuff, And that actually looks like more like this. It's flatter at the top. You want to start right, either on the right or the left, on each side. You want to keep that top flat. Oh, you could mark them too. You could definitely you could definitely mark that too. So I'm going to take you guys and turn you around. Gave you a little tour of the outside of my house. So thank you so much for joining Jen and I today. I want to see how inspired you guys are. We want to see what you're doing with your design stamps or your letter sets and how you're incorporating them into your mandala patterns. So definitely hashtag impress us so Jen and I could see, because we would love, love, love to see what you guys are doing. Again, we have a Michael's class. Let's see, wait, Lynn said, do you find that more people like a flat top? So, flat top or curved top? That is the question. It's really personal preference. I've noticed that a lot when I do men's jewelry, they prefer the flat, but I do have my brother-in-laws who don't like the flat top, but my husband does. So it's basically really personal preference. Yes, so you will see Jen and I at 3 o'clock today. If you're in New York, it's more 4 o'clock. So thank you guys for tuning in. Me and Jen appreciate seeing you guys here. Don't forget to make someone smile. Random acts of kindness, guys. Stamp it forward. Stamp something and pass it along. You'll see how, just joy comes to people's faces when you hand them something that you've made, you've handmade. So it is 3 p.m. and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, Lynn, it's personal preference. Yes, you get us twice a day today.